Structure, structure, structure. Talking about structure, what what should we do? Do we blame the government, or where do we lay the blame? Or let me put it in a different way. What should we do about the structures? Or if Joseph Muyale Inzai wants to do something about the structure, what is the best position he would be in to implement this?
Place where you'll start is how are these artists going to be remunerated? And the bodies that remunerate artists, like for instance the Kenya Copyrights Board, we have the Copyrights Board of Kenya. Then we have other bodies that are collecting royalties on behalf of the musicians, for that matter, that are supposed to be genuinely doing so. Because in Kenya, what happens, piracy is like an open door and window. So our artists don't actually earn from what they put into their artistic works. And then besides that, a lot of our works are being performed across the country and the mediums, on TV channels, radio channels, DJs in clubs and so forth. So we need to work out a way whereby we're going to have all these institutions that consume our artistic works pay for the same. And once the monies have been submitted, the same are channeled to the creative artists. That is where there is a problem. I think you've been hearing of the many noises and the wars that have been going on in terms of the remuneration to our artists. And even just the other day, the head of state had to step in to try and help in making sure that our artists are paid properly. Then besides that, we want also to see how best our artistic works can be packaged within like the film industry, both local and international, because again through that you get to earn money. And then also what we call the mechanical rights of an artist. So a lot more needs to be done, just like what is happening in the Western countries. Their artists, once they create their music, you'll find that the rest of how they get to earn their royalties and get to earn their mechanical rights if they relate with the corporate world, it's more or less a very smooth journey for them. But here in Kenya and Africa at large, we are still struggling with that element of it. How do we have our artists earn out of what they've created genuinely? So that is the major challenge. But I know with what is going on, some of us have aired our views in the meetings that are trying to shape the way artists are going to be remunerated. We believe with the serious leadership that is going to be achieved.
Joseph, Nigerian artists, especially those in performing art, seem to be doing very well, or comparatively well. What is it that they could be getting right that Kenya is not getting right?
Nigerians want a country, their population is huge, and then they believe in the indigenous content. So the head of state then I don't know, I don't remember the name, but I know one of the head of states really invested a lot in the creative arts, the film industry, the music, and so forth. And so that led into them appreciating their content. And you know, Nigeria's population is huge. So it started with the Nigerians buying in their artistic works from their artists and thus promoting them. And that's how the Nigerian music got to the international platform, first the continental African continent, and then now internationally. So they got proper support from their government. And you can recall it's not long, just the other day, when even the Afro cinema started, and most of us were laughing at what they were doing. But now, when you look at their content, they have really upped their game. So I think when you pursue something and you are resilient about it and consistency in the same, it helps a lot. So as I think earlier on you've heard me tell you that if Kenyans can learn to appreciate the content created by the Kenyans, then that way our artists are going to grow. Because as you support them, they are going to grow and even improve on their quality and their content, which is going to cut across and go beyond. You can see the likes of the like Sauti Sol. So we have quite a number of potential Sauti Sols in this country. So it's just about us believing in our own and supporting them. So Nigeria, which is a populous nation, you know, and Nigerians around the world are very proud people. They like promoting their own. They really love promoting their own. And I believe that culture in them has really helped them in propelling their artists to where they are. That's unlike what happens here in Kenya. I would say so.
It's quite clear that Musingo High School honed much of your skills in music. What are some of the nostalgic moments you can remember about the Scorpions in terms music?
Yeah, that is true. That's very true, Isaiah. And I think the major highlights while I was in Single as a member of the school choir is one when we were scooping all first positions from the provincial level all through to the national levels during our tenure. And then we were also privileged during our time, I think around the year 1985, we were identified amongst all choirs in the country to do a documentary on, I think, feeding the world, especially the women and the children. And that was a documentary sponsored by Red Cross. And so we were able to do that documentary with the Kaimosi Girls High School Choir. And we were able to bring out a very nice documentary that was featured worldwide. And around that time, we had this promise that we are going to go to Switzerland, and during the launch of the same, but that didn't come to pass. But over time, I think the last time I was on Swiss Air and I was in Switzerland, I remember that when I got invited to the US, and I got first class ticket on the Swiss Air. Also, when I landed in Zurich, I was like, I was supposed to have come here as a high school boy. But here I am now passing through as a cultural ambassador, going to talk about African music and dance all the way in the US. So I think that's how I can summarize. As Scorpions, we were able to have a real impact in the choral music categories of the boys set pieces, and then we have the boys arrangements, where we have the Zilizopendwa class that Zalo had just introduced, and now people believe I perfected that art. Now in the Kenya Music Festival, I'm looked upon as the person who perfected that category of Zilizopendwa class, which is now very renowned, and you will get the time when it's been programmed, all the halls will be full to capacity for music lovers to come and listen in. So I think the school really nurtured me well for me to be recognized as one of Kenya and of course Africa's topmost choral arrangers. I think that's not a small achievement.
There was the Luganda song that you sang in 1987 when you were going to the Nationals. Remember, we were with you in the same class. But in music, you sang a Luganda song. I would just want to get a bit of it. I hope you remember it. My voice is very bad, but it was going like, Abanange. And then, after that, could you just sing to us a bit of what you've arranged for Zilizopendwa?
Yes, that was a Baganda tune which we were taught by Mr. Luyinda. And the song was going, Oh, Banange, Wanji, Oh, Banange, Wanji, Awagwa Enkupa Wagaraki, Wagaratoke, Obwana Bwengoko Bukulira Musanja, Awagwa Enkuba Wagarachi, Wagaratoke. Ogamba nimbye, nze sera bakuyombalyo, Wenarongo Jorime Rumonde, Torabe njale nene. Wenarongo Jorime Rumonde, Torabe njale nene. Rumonde singembero kuoma. Rumonde singembero kuoma. So that was a song that I still remember, and I also sing it with the Kenyan Boys Choir. So it's one of our Pan-African, it's part of the Pan-African repertoire that we have, because a collection of Ugandan tunes and melodies. We have also tunes from South Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, among others. For Zilizopendwa categories, we have quite a number of them. We've done Zalos Malaika, Nakupenda Malaika. That's one of them. And then, of course, I've done Skuma Binongaro's Umhasi Narea, the Narea song where Skuma is a bit satirical, asking the lover who left him where she's going to go. Oditehaena. Okay, Oditehaena, Nue Komolobweni. I've also arranged songs by our legendary Jacob Liseno, like Makuru Kumombeta, and then we've done Congolese tunes, by Franco. We have done also a number of similar tunes from Tabule. We have also done stuff like Fatimata, which is French Congolese, and many others. So the list is really long. So I don't know which one I could settle on, but I have quite a number of them that I've arranged that have put me on the Kenyan choral charts. As an arranger, I've also worked on Ayub Ogada's famous Kothbiro tune, which we've recorded, and in this song, we are emphasizing on the conservation of our traditional instruments. In this case, we are looking at the Nyatiti, a Luo instrument. So you can see how prominent it sounds and comes out, and it has given this song its uniqueness and its Kenyan idiom from the Luo community, Kothbiro. I also was privileged also to be on the technical team that came up with the East Africa Community Anthem. So the anthem that we have for East Africa, my contribution is in it. And then I've also been able to have a project that I worked with National Geographic, and we came up with a documentary, The Bones of Turkana, which was a story on Dr. Richard Leakey and his discovery.
You can seriously see why I was overly excited at the beginning of the show, because I expected all this. But now I fear the interview might not end, because there are lots of things we can talk about. What is it that you seriously feel the viewers and the listeners should also know as we end this program? What should they know more about your works?
I think what I would love the viewers to know is one person who hailed from a very humble economic background, and I believe the arts can change the world as it changed my world too, and that's why I'm laboring to change the world of the boys and the girls that I work with, because I know with the exposure I give them internationally across Europe, Asia, and North America, and of course in Africa, that opens their horizons and thinking. So that exposure to me is very important, because when they get back here, they change their thinking and they set their goals high. So in whichever undertaking that you are in, as a mentor, if you can package our youth and give them direction so that they're able to work hard and achieve more on their own, to me, that is the best way to create the future for our country and our continent. And more so, let's encourage our youth to be patriots. Let them love themselves as Africans, and even if they go out there, they have to remember that their motherland is Kenya and Africa. And let them emulate the good virtues we have and the great ideologies that Africa has. Let us not ape the West 100%. Let us get what we can get out of them, but keep and conserve what has made us different from other human races as Africans. That will be my parting shot.
a very, very neat ending, Bwana Joseph. Viewers, this is Sweet Reality Kenya TV on our program Meet Teacher ID. I am your presenter, Otieno Isaiah, and today we were so privileged to meet a head of state commendation for the first time, head of state commendation, and this has been Joseph MUYALE Inzai, the founder and artistic director of the Kenya Boys Choir, Kenya Girls Choir, and now rebranded the African Cultural Choir. Thank you so much for visiting our studio, Bwana Joseph MUYALE Inzai.
Thank you so much, Mwalimu Isaiah and the reality TV show for hosting me. It was such a pleasure. Thank you, and keep up with the good work that you're doing to let the world know what the creative industry entails. Thank you. Ogamba nimbye nze sera bakuyombalyo wenarongo joli merumonde torabe njale nene wenarongo joli merumonde torabe njale nene arumonde